Hey guys, it's time for another quick video. This is a fairly long comment. I've edited about a third of it down so you don't have to hear the whole conversation. Let me take a quick drink of coffee. I do love me some coffee. And so let me go ahead and just read what I've got here, and then we can discuss. I wonder if there's not a caveat or two about being able to manifest what we want in this life. I think sometimes whatever life plan we mapped out for ourselves before we were born into this life dictates certain things happen, and we cannot override that in this life, or maybe we can, but just don't. I also wonder if someone's been better at manifesting their will on the world overrides others who want a different outcome. For example, Putin wanted war in Ukraine, and he made that happen. I'm sure most, if not all, the people of Ukraine did not want that outcome. But they're dealing with war now anyway. So did Putin's will manifest override theirs? It does feel like there's a constant struggle in the world of people wanting to be in one way and others wanting to be in a different way, good, bad, or however you wish to define those opposing goals. Do we have to be stronger at manifesting our will into the world than others in order to achieve the goals we want when they are in conflict with other people's desires? I hope you don't mind. I have a lot of questions. LOL. There is a lot in this, and I know some of you are already going to know some of the stuff I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm going to start with your first line. I wonder if there's not a caveat or two of being able to manifest what we want in this life. The belief in the caveat is a belief in justification as to why you're not getting something, and the belief in why you're not getting something is why you're not going to get something, because you're actually focused on the not getting something. And when I get into the Putin stuff later on, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So statements like this, I wonder if there's not a caveat. That is literally focusing on the reason why you're not manifesting. That is focusing on the negative aspect of it. And so release the negative aspect of it. That's what I would say on that one. Now, here's the one that I know a lot of you are going to know what I'm about to say, but I'm going to go ahead and read it. I think sometimes whatever life plan we mapped out for ourselves, we were born into this life, before we were born into this life, dictates certain things happen, and we cannot override that in this lifetime. Or maybe we can, but just don't. Okay, so this whole sentence is a deep belief in life plans. I don't believe in life plans. I don't believe in soul contracts. I don't believe in any of it. Life plans, soul contracts are a 1990s New Age belief that had its heyday in 2013 and have been slowly dying away since. Life plans and contracts makes no sense as far as any of the ancient texts, any of them, because the life plans and soul contracts takes away the free will when you're here in this world. Now, do I believe? I believe in eternal life, and I believe on the other side we have knowledge and we have awareness, and I believe we can say, I want to drop into this experience and experience this. I don't think it's a contract, and I don't think it's anything set in stone. I don't think there is this has to be. I don't believe in fate and destiny. Or, if I did believe in fate and destiny, I couldn't believe anything Joshua said, because you create your world. That is literally what he said. That's what Buddha said. Buddha said, the Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. What you think you become, you create your world. Buddha, you are the culmination of your thought. Krishna, all these things are saying that you are creating with your thoughts, with your beliefs, with your faith. And life plans and soul contracts and all that stuff make absolutely no sense in any of those teachings. And it's what I would consider one of the classic New Age dogmas. It's one of the new things. Some New Age person created this thing, and it has been dropped into the psyche and the consciousness of people, and they're creating it as their new dogma. So as far as life plans and so, I don't believe in them, so I have a hard time with that. I do not have a hard time with that. I just don't believe it. It doesn't ring true for me at all. But the rest of this is going to be where it gets into it. I also wonder if someone who's better at manifesting their will in the world overrides others who want a different outcome. Okay. So let's first of all talk about that. No one is better at manifesting than anybody else. They are more aware that they're manifesting. They are more aware because everyone is manifesting their experience by their focus. And sometimes when things seem rough, they're focused on the rough. They're focused on the hardship. They're focused on the damage. Now, your question is very interesting because it talks about Putin being a better manifester than all the people of Ukraine, and he made that happen. First of all, you don't know whether he made that happen or not. Second of all, I want you to step out of the word war and back up and look at this from a larger picture. Okay. Everything that you're seeing happen right now in Ukraine has multiple outcomes. One, yes, he attacked Ukraine, and the people of Ukraine are suffering, right? Putin has damaged himself so bad in Russia that Russia will probably end up getting rid of him sooner rather than later, and Russia will then start to become more and more democratic and more in the fold because the dictator will be gone. Ukraine really wanted to join the EU, and now it looks like it's going to happen, right? Ukraine was talking about NATO, right? Finland and Sweden are now part of NATO, are now becoming part of NATO, right? So though it seems like Putin's will won the world, in reality, amazingly good things are coming out of this war, though some are suffering. Okay? But what did they want? Ukraine wanted independence. Ukraine wanted to be part of the EU. Ukraine wanted to be part of NATO. They're now well on their way to getting it. Putin tried to overthrow, tried to go through all these things. He kept failing time and time again, right? His country is financially suffering. The ruble is worth less than a penny. The number one thing you can do to turn people against you is mess with their money, right? And that's exactly what's happened. The world has messed with their money. Let's talk about another ancillary benefit of this. The EU is cutting off oil from Russia, which is pushing them towards more green energy, electric cars and things of that nature, which is better for the environment. So when you look at all of the ancillary things that are happening, there's lots of things being manifested at once. The only difference is what part of it are you focused on? What part of you focus on? So that's why when the war broke out, the first thing I said was, don't focus on war. I said, focus on peace and harmony between Russia and Ukraine. Because when you focus on the war, you're empowering that manifestation. When you focus on peace and harmony between Russia and Ukraine, the best result for all of the world. That's a much better manifestation than to continue to focus on the land. The problem is that people see the atrocity and they want to focus on the atrocity to try to fix it. Well, you don't fix it by giving it power. You fix it by starving it, by taking the power away. Now, the EU, England, the whole world is against this war and behind Ukraine. And it's unifying the world in a very big way, and it's taking Putin out of power in the end. So, who's manifesting what? So you want to really drop your emotions about it and get into the looking at the overall picture of it. In the end, Ukraine is going to be a part of the EU. They're probably going to join NATO because of the threat that they've just been through. Sweden and Finland are going to be part of NATO, right? We'll have probably better trade with China after this. And because, China's economy is huge, but if America started sanctioning China, we could cripple them because that's all they have. They don't have much more. So we could cripple China just by saying nope, because we are the biggest consumers in the world in the United States. We just are. So who's a better manifester? Everybody's manifesting. The mass consciousness is manifesting. Things are so terrible, and so we focus on it being so terrible, so God shows us more terrible. So don't focus on the negative, focus on the positive, and get more people to focus on the positive outcomes. And also look at the ancillary manifestations that are happening. Cleaner air, cleaner environment, no more, a decreased amount of gas vehicles in the world, Putin out of power, Russia becoming more democratic, the world becoming united. This is a tipping point for a whole new world. And there's a manifestation that is truly happening. But here's the problem. Manifestations always take the easiest route. Now, the easiest route is not always the most fun route. Because, water going downhill is going to follow the path of least resistance. And sometimes the path of least resistance is falling off a cliff and crashing on a rock below, because that's the fastest way to the destination. And so sometimes the fastest way to a destination is for a war to erupt. It's for a war to erupt or some atrocity to happen. So all events of the world are manifestations in some form. But sometimes the ones that seem the most atrocious are actually just falling off the cliff to get to the destination. And so I would look at it that way, because mass consciousness manifesting is always happening every day of the year. And when you look at what in the political world, the people who are focused on the conspiracy theories and they got that mass consciousness rolling, the more light we can shine on the truth, the less power they have, and they will go away because they're getting exposed. And that also is happening now. So let me jump over here. Actually, I think I answered your entire question. So my point of all this is, it's not your job to save the world. It's your job to make your part of it so bright so the rest of it can shine with you. So nobody's better at manifesting because we're all manifesting all the time. The difference is, are you conscious about your manifestation, or are you subconsciously, unconsciously manifesting in reaction? In my corporate world, I would say, are you an action hero or a reaction zero? You don't want to be in a non-conscious reactive mode. You want to be into a very conscious action mode. And so get yourself into the really conscious, I am creating a joyful, happy world. I am creating peace and harmony between Russia and Ukraine, right? And realize it's not your job to save the world. It's your job to make your part of it so bright, and you can send loving intention to that area. But you're not the only one doing it. And so the more of us who send the loving intention, the quicker the crash will abate. So that's my thought on that. You have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye. Thank you, my friends, for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure that you've subscribed and you like it, you share it, but also comment below it. Let's get this community talking about these topics and spreading this information out far and wide so we can change the world for the better. Thank you.